Oh my gosh. They focused on passenger comfort. Look how massive this trunk is. I do not want to give it back. Hey guys, welcome back. And today I am in a 2023 Jeep Wagoneer Series II 4x4. This has been my rental for the weekend, and I'll be giving my impressions on what it's been like to live with this weekend. So let's go ahead and get started. So this 2023 Wagoneer is finished in diamond black crystal pearl and very sharp. This is a very unique looking SUV. It kind of looks like a bus. It's humongous. It's definitely unique in the back, the way it's box shaped, the big old Wagoneer on the back. I think it looks pretty sharp. Definitely stands out from others on the road, and you definitely know what it is coming down at the road at you. The front kind of looks like a Grand Cherokee. Well, this is a Jeep after all, but the back is definitely distinguishes that this is a Wagoneer. Very sharp looking car. Kind of forgive me, it's a little bit wet right now and kind of dirty. This is my fourth take trying to film this car, and every single time I've been going out to try to film it, I've been getting rained on. So with that being said, let's go ahead and take a look at these wheels. These are 20-inch wheels wrapped in Nexen Rodian HTX RH5. I like these tires. These are what actually come in on my Dodge Ram 1500 that I have. I've got no issues with these at all on this vehicle or my Dodge Ram, and they do pretty well. They're pretty quiet. They handle really well in the snow, the rain, etc. You can kind of see how the inner fender liners are kind of lined with this felt looking material. It's a pain in the rear to clean from experience, but it definitely helps cut down on road noise, that's for sure. But you do get LED headlamps with LED DRLs and turn signals, along with fog lights on the front of this thing. You do get a nice set of running boards on this model. Definitely makes it a lot easier to get in and out. Turn signals on the mirrors. You do get smart access as well. You know, touchpad behind the door, and then this locks it by pressing the touch sensor on the door handle. You do get LED tail lamps as well. Let's go ahead and check out the trunk. A little bit on the slower side, but guys, this is with the third row folded down. Look how massive this trunk is. You can literally probably lay down back here. It is ginormous, and this is the regular wheelbase Wagoneer. You can get an L version that has the extended wheelbase. It is huge. You get a little bit of storage under here, along with a roadside jack and some other tools that you need. It's pretty nice. A couple hangers, 12-volt outlet back here. Let's go ahead and fold that third row up real quick. These are manual folding. There's plenty of space back here, and I believe you do actually get a spare tire underneath the car. So that is actually very nice. So under the hood of this 6,000-pound behemoth is a 3.0-liter twin-turbo Hurricane inline 6, making 420 horsepower and 470 pound-feet of torque. Very powerful engine, and definitely moves this thing around extremely well. Fuel economy is about 16 city, 23 highway, with a 19 combined total miles per gallon. I was averaging about 20. I did get up about 24 on my way to Canton, Ohio for a trip. So you can get some good numbers out of this thing. As big as this thing is, and it's pretty much just a giant brick, I am very happy to see even 20s out of something like this, especially with the amount of power this thing puts out. It's also backed by an 8-speed transmission that is extremely smooth. No complaints there at all either. All right, let's go ahead and quickly check out the passenger room you have in this thing. We'll first start in the back row. You just press this button to make the seat go forward. Pardon the dirt, it's a rental car, and I try my best to clean it up. But we'll go ahead and climb in back here. I can't quite fold this one up because this is reclined too far, but on this side, this is a very nice place to be. You can see with this even being reclined a little bit farther, I got an inch of leg room, and I got about 3 inches of headroom. You do get a vent back here, which is extremely nice, a USB port and a USB-C port, along with a cup holder. Very cool. And this side also gets that as well. It's nice to see. So all you got to do to exit from the third row is just hit this button that shoots forward, and you're able to easily climb in and out of it. It's actually extremely easy to get in and out of. All right, now let's hop on the back seat. Let's see what you get back here. You do get a zone back here that you can control by using these functions here. You do get a couple USB-C ports, a couple USB-A ports, along with a 150-watt outlet, a 12-volt outlet as well. A little place to put some stuff and a couple Mac pockets in the back seat. Very roomy. I got a foot of leg room and 7 inches of headroom. You get a vent there and you get a vent here, so you're really well ventilated back here. You even can lock and unlock the doors from back here. That's actually quite interesting. I don't think I've seen that. That's pretty cool. Coming in the center here, you get a pull down center armrest with a couple cup holders and a place to put, I think, a phone or something like that. Then coming in the center here and looking at the front, you do get a very nice swooping dash made of high quality materials. Actually, everything in here is very high quality. There's really no hard plastics at all, and nothing really rattles and creaks over bumps. It's just a very well thought out and built interior. All right, now checking out the driver's seat here, you do get memory seats, which is nice. These are power heated and ventilated and extremely comfortable. Very nice bolstering. It's very supportive. Let's go ahead and hop in. I really like the steering wheel shape. It's very comfortable. It is pretty large, but it's nice to kind of hold down here on an extended period of time while you're driving. It's very comfortable. The ergonomics in here are well laid out. I can reach the infotainment screen, rest my hand on the door here, and still steer the steering wheel. It was definitely well thought out in here for driver ergonomics. You do get automatic headlights with fog lights, driver adjustable pedals, and you do get a electronic adjustable steering wheel, which is actually really nice to see. You get a 10.25 inch gauge cluster that you can configure. It's fully customizable. You can, go to digital or these analog gauges and kind of go through the trip. Display your navigation, some off-road modes, display what songs you have on the radio going on. You can, change radio stations and stuff like that. In the center here, you do get a 10-inch display that is very responsive. No complaints here at all. It doesn't really lag too terribly bad. And from here you can control the heated and ventilated seats, but on the sides you do get a couple like haptic buttons that you can control the heated steering wheel and heated and ventilated seats. You can also even turn this screen off at night, which is a lifesaver. I wish all manufacturers were required to do something like that, because having these screens glare at you at night is a huge pain when you're trying to drive down the road. I will say the buttons on the side here are a little bit hard to touch and hard to register. Sometimes it just doesn't register my finger touches. Like right now it's doing fine, but when you're trying to drive down the road and your fingers are all bouncing and stuff, it's kind of hard to turn that on. This infotainment system does have Android Auto and Apple CarPlay with the ability to do them wirelessly, so that's a nice feature to have here as well. I can't really demonstrate it as the phone that I have is recording the audio for the video, but someday I hope to be able to demonstrate something like that. I'm not quite sure how far you guys want to see in the infotainment, so let me know in the comments if you'd like a deep dive in the infotainment in the future. If not, I can kind of just do a quick summary. Just let me know what you guys think in the comments, because I'd be curious. This also does come with a reverse camera. I'm sad to say that there's no 360 camera at all, but I mean, you can zoom in for whatever reason. It's pretty decently high resolution. It has a decent refresh rate, but I would love to see a 360 camera with a vehicle of this size. Now this does have a 9-speaker Alpine sound system, and it sounds really good. I like this better than the 23, 24 speaker Macintosh sound system in the Grand Wagoneer. I've sat in the Grand Wagoneer and messed around with the sound system. I wasn't really impressed with it, but I think this 9-speaker Alpine sound system sounds very good. And my wife seemed to like it as well. You do get your climate controls down here. It's nice to see physical buttons and switches to turn the climate controls on and off. You get a wireless charger down here and a couple USB ports, a USB-C port and an aux port, along with a 12-volt outlet. This comes down. And down here you can control your auto stop start, your lane keep assist, traction control, hazards, parking assist, tow haul mode, and mute the stereo. Here you get your drive mode selector. This is a full-time 4-wheel drive system, and this switch here just pretty much adjusts how that 4-wheel drive system works and how the torque is distributed front and rear. In the center here, you get a couple cup holders and a couple places to put your phone, which is actually very handy. In the center here, you do get a massive center console. Pardon the voice crack there. A massive center console that I was able to fit in some cleaning wipes and my GoPro case. And then here you get a place to put, I think, a phone or something here with a USB-C port and a USB-A port. Very nice. There is a lot of gloss black plastic in here. As you can see, this is a pain to clean. I spent a good amount of time cleaning this rental car because when it was given to me, it was kind of dirty. But as you can see, there's a lot of micro abrasions. This thing has 16,000 miles on here, and there's a lot of like micro abrasions on these gloss black plastics. So keep that in mind when you buy one of these, that you're going to spend a lot of time trying to keep this clean and not looking scratched up, even though it's going to get scratched up anyways. You do get a decent sized glove box over here, and you do get illuminated visor mirrors with HomeLink, which is nice to see. Up here you do get a sunglasses holder that pops down and reveals a child mirror, so you can see what's going on in the back. All right, let's go ahead and take this thing for a spin. Put this thing in drive. Not quite sure how I feel about the gear selector being in the center here. It's just an awkward kind of place to put it. It doesn't really feel very natural at all. My Ram has it up here, and I kind of like that, but as you can see, there's probably not enough room to do it right there. But it's just a very interesting place to put a gear selector. It does have blind spot monitoring and giant side mirrors with a nice blind spot mirror included in the corner. All right, as we embark here, I will say this is probably one of the smoothest vehicles I have ever driven in my entire life. It soaks up the bumps so well, glides over every single Ohio pothole. It's just so smooth. The power delivery is butter. The transmission shifts like butter, and there is really no complaints here about the drivability of the vehicle. Looks like we're going to get a beautiful sunset here tonight. You have to forgive me. I'm recovering from being sick for a week. I lost my voice earlier in the week, so that's kind of why I sound a little bit on the hoarse side today. All right. This thing really pulls. This 3-liter Hurricane Inline 6 is a great engine. I would definitely opt over the Hemi just for efficiency, and it's a lot more fun to drive. This does have auto stop start as well. You can turn it off by just clicking this haptic button down here, and it will turn the system off. I don't find it to be that intrusive. I kind of like to have it on just to save fuel at stoplights. You can argue how you want of how much fuel it saves, but this system is definitely not obtrusive and is extremely smooth. If I could just sum up this entire vehicle with one word, it would be smooth. It literally everything is smooth. The materials, how it rides, how it sounds. It is one of the most luxurious vehicles I've ever been in. I've been in some Lincoln Navigators, Cadillac Escalades, Suburbans, and I will say this is a much nicer, quieter riding vehicle than those, and much more comfortable, especially for backseat passengers. Some things I noticed about like the Escalades and the Suburbans is the driver's seat is pretty comfortable, but when it comes to passengers, they kind of forget about it, and I find the rear seats are like concrete in those things, especially the third row. But in this thing, they focused on passenger comfort, and you will not be left disappointed, that's for sure. I really like the engine note of this inline 6. It doesn't sound bad at all. I'm a V8 guy through and through. I mean, my truck's a V8 Hemi, but I find myself actually very content with this inline 6, surprisingly. It makes the right noises. It doesn't sound nasally or disgusting. It just feels luxurious for this vehicle. All right, let's do a quick 0 to 60. Let's go ahead and put this thing into sport mode. Come to a complete stop. Wait for the gauge cluster to return and floor it. Holy cow, this thing is fast. It just bang shifts in sport. Wow. It's 6,000 pounds just blasting down the road. That is crazy how fast this thing is. This is probably one of my favorite engines FCA's ever put out. This thing goes. And it has the efficiency to back it up, too. I mean, 24 mpg in a 6,000 pound brick. And, this thing just flies down the road. It's incredible. Ever since I've gotten this vehicle, I have definitely not wanted to get out of it. I've actually found myself trying to make excuses to go somewhere, show my friends or, take family somewhere. This is a pleasure to drive. You're not going to, canyon carve or, win any serious drag races, even though this thing is ridiculously fast for its size. But it's just a very fun vehicle to drive. You just chauffeur people around and you'll enjoy every second of it. Now in the back of the steering wheel here, you do get a couple rockers. One controls the volume for the radio and the other one can seek tracks, skip to the next track or whatever. On the left side of the steering wheel, you get to control the gauge cluster and, bring up a bunch of menus and things, and, convert it to a more digital gauge cluster. I don't particularly care for that display. I like the traditional analog one. This does have adaptive cruise control, but what I do like about this system is you can just set regular cruise control by clicking the center button here and set, and it will set regular cruise control independently from the adaptive cruise. If you want adaptive, you just hit, well, I can't really do it now, but if you want adaptive, you just hit this button here and it'll say ACC is ready and set, and it will turn on the adaptive cruise control. There are cases, like when you're traveling, that you don't want to use adaptive cruise control because it just, it's just annoying in general. And you have the ability to select which one you want, which is actually really nice. Now, as far as this adaptive cruise control system, I do think it works really, really well. You turn-to-turn signal on, it'll shoot around people. It does not jam the brakes. It does not jam the gas. Like I said before, this whole vehicle is about being smooth, and this adaptive cruise control system is probably one of the smoothest adaptive cruise control systems I have ever used. It does not jerk you around at all. Now, as far as visibility goes, you do get this pillar here that's kind of thick, and the pillar in the rear is also kind of thick as well. But these mirrors do a great job. I mean, look at them. They're ginormous. These do a great job of, showing what's around you. And plus, you got blind spot monitoring. This vehicle is pretty easy to maneuver, and I don't find myself, having too many blind spots or issues with maneuvering this. Now, one upside of having this 3-liter inline 6 is I don't believe this has the cylinder deactivation. If you have the one with the 5.7 Hemi, you do get cylinder deactivation, and the one in my Ram is just, it's kind of annoying. I like to disable it, but this is smooth. Now, as we come here to a roundabout, this is not something you're gonna throw, into some corners and, just canyon carve down through the tail of the dragon or something. This is all about chauffeuring people in the smoothest possible way. That you do get the body roll. This is a massive SUV. But I mean, if you're just going on the highway or even just going around town, it's not that bad. One thing I forgot to mention is all this gloss black plastic reflects a lot. So when you're driving and the sun's at a perfect angle, you're going to get blinded by that plastic there in the center. So if you opt for one with a panoramic sunroof, keep that in mind, as you're probably going to get even more blinded. I really like these vehicles. I've been dying to get in one of these ever since they came out. I think they look the business coming down the road at you. I think they look just as distinguishable as a G-Wagon. Like, when you look at it that this is American luxury. And I definitely think it has the quality and features to back it up. Even this Series 2 middle of the road Wagoneer trim, not the Grand Wagoneer with all, massaging seats and stuff like that. I think this is the perfect American luxury vehicle. It does not get any better than this. Driving this thing at highway speeds, it is quiet. You can hold a conversation with everybody in here. All right, let's go ahead and put this thing in sport mode. Jeez. This thing just pulls, and it keeps the revs up. The mid-range torque is monstrous. That's something you do not get with the 5.7 liter Hemi. The Hemi has all its power at the upper RPMs, but this, it just pulls at pretty much every RPM. It has a lot of torque down low. Oh, look at that sunset. That's looking beautiful. That wasn't even floored, and it just gets up and goes. You do not need any more power than this, especially for the weight. For safety reasons and everything, this is the perfect amount of fun and safe. Actually, you know what? Let's do one more 0 to 60. Put it back into sport mode. We just got an absolute ton of rain. Look at that. That's insane how much water's there. All right, come to complete stop. Let's brake boost it a little bit. And go. Oh my gosh. Jeep, you guys built a heck of a vehicle. Holy cow. The designers of this engine, this is a heck of an engine. I just cannot believe. I really wish you guys could sit in this seat. I've driven faster cars and stuff like that, but you guys got to understand how big this thing is and how well it pulls. It is just, it's unreal. And I've said this before, to get 24 miles a gallon in it, it's just crazy. So overall, I've enjoyed my time in this thing. I do not want to give it back. If you're looking for a nice commuter vehicle to work or to haul your family to soccer practice or long trips to like Myrtle Beach or across country, or if you're a salesman and you're looking for something smooth, this is a perfect vehicle for you. You know what? All right, let's do a quick turning radius test. Oh, not bad. Not bad at all. Considering this thing's like a small bus, I don't have any complaints about how maneuverable it is. Hey guys, Editing Sean here. My GoPro overheated and I didn't get a chance to film a proper end of the video. It filmed it in time-lapse mode because it reset all my settings after it turned back on. So with that being said, thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. Be sure to follow me on Instagram at Paul's Place YT for some more content and some behind the scenes. And we'll see you in the next one. Thanks guys, take care.